What's good, Authentic fam? Your boy Allende back with another video request from a brother named C. Bailey. So loving all the requests, guys. I'm doing like at least one a day, which ain't enough for me. I can handle more than that. All right, so jump up in the email. Let me know what's on your mind. Stop acting like y'all got it all figured out. All right, you need some help. Stop struggling by yourself. You're gonna drop that on your toe. All right, hit me up. Let me guide you. All right, let me holler at you, because a lot of you dudes has got some serious lady problems that can be traumatic for your future, and I want to help prevent that. I'm out here saving lives, bro. All right, so your boy C. Bailey, he and this isn't even C. Bailey's first video request. I think he's like on his second or third, so I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the okay, yeah, thank you for the $60 donation, brother. Highly appreciated. All right, and my live streaming device is in the mail. Actually, I already ordered it, guys, so the money is going where it needs to go. The problem is everything's like behind, back ordered or whatever, so it's like I'm waiting weeks to get this damn device. But once it gets here, bro, we live streaming, we going live. I was gonna do an Atom, but that's just too complicated for your boy. And I asked you guys how you felt about like permanent in-studio stuff versus like on the road shit, and I got a majority of guys saying basically do both, and then I got a lot of guys that were like, nah, just keep it moving, and like nobody said locked into the studio. So because of that, I couldn't go with like the Atom and stuff like that, because that's stuff that you have to kind of like build up in the studio, leave it stationary. The Rodecaster Pro and all of that, it's nothing that you're gonna move at all. So they turned out that there was another solution that allows me to actually do both. So of course I opted for that. It's a little bit more expensive than either of the three devices that I would have needed individually, but it actually turns out that it's more affordable by itself, if that makes any sense. Like I could buy just that instead of buying three individual things to be set up in the studio. So we're working out how we're gonna make both work so that the studio is somewhat set up stationary and permanent, but I could also grab certain things and be on the move. You dig? All right, so anyway, C. Bailey says, hey, thanks. I guess he's thanking me for the last video request. You're welcome, brother. But what he's saying is the topic I'd like to request is a video about advice, wisdom, life lessons, and things that set a man up for long-term success, like 10 things you have learned either firsthand or from others that you wish you knew when younger at like age 21. Appreciate it in advance. All right, so cool. So we're gonna get into that. I went ahead and gave that some thought. I didn't want to rush into it, so I gave it like 24 hours of thought and took notes and went over it and kind of tried to narrow it down to 10 things I think are the most important, because I learned a lot more than 10 things. But definitely I think these 10 things would be great for guys that are between 18 and 30. I think they're gonna be some game changers. So as always, the notes will be in the description. Let's run through it. Apologize for the background noise. It's Ultra Festival or whatever festival has happened, so it's rowdy as hell in my building. I might actually go over there and try to ambush some chicks and get some interviews for you guys. But I want to catch these broads before they're drunk. I don't like talking to drunk broads, and neither should you. Don't be out here talking to drunk broads because you think it's an easier lay. It's also more of a liability. Come on, guys. Come on. Perform like a champion. Don't be out here trying to, go for low-hanging fruit. All right? So let's start off from the top. Advice, wisdom, and life lessons to set men up for long-term success. 10 things I've learned I wish I had known by age 21. See, I had to retitle it, you know what I'm saying? Make it sound a little better, like a chapter in my book. Hint, 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 hint. All right, so number 1, find the next big thing and invest. Now, the reason why I say this is because there was a time when Bitcoin first came out. Yes, there was a time, guys. So for you guys that are in your early 20s and late teens, that wasn't on your radar. But I remember when Bitcoin first came out. Now, I didn't doubt it. I didn't think it was a scam. I didn't think it was a hoax. I didn't think it was nonsense. No, I actually knew somehow, like I had a feeling like, yo, this is gonna be big, but I didn't trust myself. So I want to make this clear. It's not that I didn't trust or believe that Bitcoin was going to be huge and it was going to be the future. I actually was very confident of that. I remember thinking, yo, something about this seems promising. But I didn't know shit about it. I'm not a tech guy. I couldn't really wrap my head around the concept of blockchain currency. So I want to share with you what I feel was the message or the lesson learned in that. So people were like trying to pay me with Bitcoin, right? At the time when it first came out, bro. And what I'm talking about is when it was $60 a coin. I remember it. It was like $60 a coin. And I remember that because I remember people were trying to pay me that owed me like $100 or like, $200. I remember they were having to like kind of combine coins to pay me. And I remember on multiple occasions, I refused it and was like, nah, son, give me cash, yo, cash. I don't know you like that. Give me cash. So I remember there were women trying to pay me at the club with it. I remember there were guys trying to pay me. And I just was like, nah, I'm not accepting this Bitcoin thing. Now, I want to reiterate, it's not because I didn't trust Bitcoin. It's that I didn't trust myself and I didn't trust the people that were trying to pay me with it. And because I didn't know anything about it, like I wasn't knowledgeable about it, I didn't trust myself to accept it because I was like, nah, I'm gonna get played. Like, I don't understand how it works. So if I accept the payment and it comes out that it's not what the person said it was, now I'm looking like a dumbass and this person actually owes me more money, but now I can't get a hold of that person because I never knew that person to begin with. You get what I'm trying to say? So when people were trying to like transfer Bitcoin to me, I was like, nah, son, just go to the ATM. Do what you gotta do. Give me cash, bro. Just cash app it to me. And they were like, you sure? You sure? And I just was like, yes, I don't know what that is. So the lesson that I learned was find out what that is. That's the lesson I learned. Don't procrastinate on knowledge. Like people procrastinate on physical things they need to do. They procrastinate on habits that are bad that they need to stop. But also people procrastinate on knowledge, on seeking information. Don't put it off. What I should have did, the mistake I made was not jumping on it immediately and finding people who knew more about it and letting them explain it to me. Because if they did, I'm a relatively smart guy. I definitely would have made investments in Bitcoin. And like I said, at the time, people were literally giving it to me. They were giving it away to me. Like people were, all right, let me put it to you like this. Why it's a big opportunity that I missed. People were willing to overcompensate with Bitcoin rather than cash because at the time people were like, I don't even know what that is. So let's say somebody owed me $100. They were willing to give me 2 Bitcoin for it, which would have been $120. You see what I'm trying to say? They were willing to like overshoot it because it was not convenient to accept it at the time. All right. So basically for one, it's find out what the next big thing is going to be and invest in it. That means you should already be trying to figure out what's going to be the next big thing, guys, while you're young. Because if I had put a little bit of money in some Bitcoin or I had let people pay me with Bitcoin at the time, bro, I would be so fucking like rich right now. I'd be so stacked up. All right. So the next thing is being a good man and having a good career does not entitle you to a good woman and a good relationship. Now, this is important because I was a Tyrone or I was a bad boy. And somehow I had it fixed in my head that healthy relationships, good relationships, and all that other kind of stuff was just a matter of the guy deciding that he wanted to do right by the woman. I thought, well, shit, as soon as I finally get my act together and I'm, ready to stop running the streets, I'm ready to stop hustling, I'm ready to stop taking risks, I'm ready to stop being that dude, that somehow I could just pick any one of the women that was basically begging me for commitment and hanging around, trying to get commitment out of me, trying to get me to leave all my other, chicks for him or whatever. I kept thinking that like every girl was like a good girl and it was just basically contingent on the guy to stop being a jerk, stop being a dick, stop being an asshole, and get, a legitimate career. And then everything else would just fall into place. You'd get married, you'd have the picket fence, you'd have beautiful children, you'd get a nice little dog, and that'd be that. Like, I really believed that, guys. Like when I was like 25 to basically when I got married. So from 25 to about 30, because I got, dude, like I started dating my ex-wife seriously at about 30. and I got divorced at 34. So yeah, I was married for like under 3 years, but I was with her for 4 years. So I was with her for 4 years, and we were married for just like under 3 years, right? So for that space of time, dude, so think about this, from 25 to basically 34. So for almost 10 years of my life, for 9 years of my life, I actually thought, like, if you just be a good dude, or you just have a good career, like you just pick a good woman and everything is fine. Nah, bro. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, bro. You got to really, really vet the chick. You got to really, really test her and do a whole bunch of other stuff to make sure you made the right choice after you've already made sure you're a good man, you have a good career, you're a good protector, you're a good provider, you're a good leader, and you got a plan. Like, you got to do all of that stuff first for yourself. Then you got to go through the work of making sure that the woman checks out also. Okay, guys? So don't make the mistake I made. Whew. Anyway, next, number 3. All right. So entering marriage without fully understanding women can make any man a beta male. All right. So that's also something that I learned from my marriage, because granted, I know when I was telling you number 2, some of you guys were probably thinking, Allende, were you oblivious to all the guys that were struggling in relationships, struggling in marriage, getting cheated on, getting their house taken in a divorce, getting their kids taken, paying child support? Yeah, I was aware of all of that. But here's the thing, though. I thought, like, yeah, but those guys are like just some soft ass dudes. Those are just like some beta males. So like they deserve it. Like the girls, like the guys letting the girl do that to them. Like, I would never. Bro, I was wrong. The confines of marriage today and the way the system is set up and the way the laws are set up, like, once you get into that committed relationship and you like live together, you have paperwork in both your names and you sign any type of contracts, any leases together, anything like that, bro, the chick now has the upper hand. Okay, which brings me back to 2. You got to make sure that you like really vet this girl, and you got to make sure you're that guy first, and then you also got to make sure that chick's not going to screw you over, because, like I said, once you like, enter a contract with her of any type, now it's all on her and how she feels and what she's willing to do to you. You get what I'm trying to say? So I learned the hard way that when you saw guys getting smashed and crashed and crushed in relationships, it wasn't necessarily that he was a soft-ass, weak dude that just let it happen. He didn't understand women enough to know the risk that he was taking. All right? So, I mean, you could be an alpha dude and still not understand that dark side of women, okay? And what happens is a lot of those dudes that are in that so-called quote-unquote alpha position, they never actually commit to the woman. They never put themselves in a position where the woman has any leverage. That's why they didn't know women behave differently when they hold the chips, okay? So, number 4. In the West, a man must fully self-actualize before he has a chance at fully being the head of a family. Now, notice the wording that I'm using there. So what I'm trying to say is, unfortunately, in the West, in Western society, you are in the West, unfortunately, you are not in charge just because you're a male. When it comes to Western society, just being a man doesn't automatically put you in a position of power or control in a relationship, unfortunately. So what I'm trying to say is, just you being a man, it's not like, yo, I'm the head of the house, it is what it is, it's what I say it is, right? Here, you have to like actually be successful. You have to basically put yourself in a position of power based on your accomplishment and how you structure your life, and basically how you present yourself, how you see yourself, what you will allow, what you won't allow. Like, you have to be very, very particular about all of that, okay? Whereas if you were in certain cultures, bro, just you being the man, I don't care if you're broke, I don't care if you got no money, just you being the man, you're already the man. In the West, English-speaking countries, it does not work that way. You have to be self-actualized in every way. I'm not just talking about you successful when you have money. No, self-actualized, meaning you know who you are, what you expect, what you demand, what you will tolerate, and what you will accept from others. You got to have all of that set in stone. All right, guys? So be very, very, aware of that. Notice I said has a chance. So even when you are self-actualized, it still ain't even guaranteed, but at least you have a chance, and you might get lucky if you make some good decisions and be really, really careful what risk you take and how much leeway you give people, because that inch turns into a mile real fast, guys. All right. So number 5. You must first test a woman's behavior in the worst possible scenarios before you can trust how she will react in them. Now, again, very important lesson here. What I'm saying by that is you don't know how a woman is going to react in a divorce until you're in a divorce with her. Do you see what I'm trying to say? You don't know how a woman's going to react if you cheat on her until she catches you cheating on her. See what I'm saying? You don't know how a woman is going to react if you lose all your money until you lose all your money. So there is no, oh, she'll never do that to me. Oh, she wouldn't this. No. The only thing that you can fix your mouth to say is she didn't do that to me. Let me repeat that for you guys, because some of you knuckleheads are hard of hearing and you get in the comments and say something that I didn't say, you weren't paying attention. So I'm going to repeat these important parts to you, okay? You don't know what a woman will do in a situation until you've been in that situation. Okay, so you can't say she won't do that to me. You can only say she didn't do that to me, meaning it happened, and in that situation, that's not what she decided to do. So, in other words, you have to create artificial scenarios that simulate that scenario. Like, tell her that you want to get a divorce when you really don't want to necessarily, like, you haven't decided that you're going to get a divorce, but you're thinking about it, you're considering it, and you tell her that and see how she responds. Don't actually go bankrupt. Just come home really upset and act like you have something that's on your mind, but you don't want to tell her, you don't want to talk to her about it. And finally, when she keeps poking, you say, listen, sit down, we got to talk. This isn't good. And then you tell her, listen, I lost my job. They want me out. They want everything out of my office by Wednesday. I don't know what I'm going to do, right? But it's a wrap. There's nothing I could do. HR ain't hearing it. They canned me, right? And pretend like you ain't got a job for a little while and see what happens. So that's what I'm trying to say. You have to test women in these scenarios to know how they will react in those scenarios. And another little bonus advantage of that, or plus to that, is that when you have to go ahead and sit her down and say, yo, I was bullshitting. Like, I didn't lose my job, girl. I was just playing. Or I didn't cheat on you with that girl. I staged that. I made that up. You know what I'm saying? Look at where I dated this thing that I wrote down so that you would know that I'm not making it up, but I was just seeing how you would react, because I don't want you to just leave me for any little thing. Then you put a certain type of pressure on her where she doesn't even know when something bad actually happened. So it actually does even more for you in the sense of keeping things stable and keeping her from not panicking in certain times. Because remember, women are weak. So if you're not strong and you don't have her assured that you know how to handle shit, she might do something stupid and make a dumb decision because she's terrified and doesn't know, what to do, and also doesn't trust that you do. All right. So test women in scenarios. All right. You got to get creative, guys. And if you can afford it, don't hesitate to hire a private investigator. In the future, I'm going to be bringing on some guys that do that for a living and let them tell you guys the type of things you should be looking out for and what are the benefits of hiring a private eye. Oh, yeah, I'm getting all into it. I'm going to be Manosphere's best. I already told y'all that. All right. So number 6, bosses only truly respect bosses. So this is something else that I learned over time, being that I've always had a lot of friends and associates that are extremely accomplished, high valued men. At the end of the day, okay, what these type of men are going to respect the most, because a lot of you guys think that it's just money. Money respects money. That's not it. Because what it is that being your own man, being your own boss, right, marching to the beat of your own drum, that's what these men truly and honestly respect. And that also shows them that you have the potential to be great one day, right? So if you have a boss mindset, you believe in yourself, trust me, the men who have already arrived, they will see that in you because it's also in them. All right, so keep that in mind. Carry yourself like you already are where you want to be or expect to be. That's the only way you're going to get there. Success is not going to surprise you. You're not going to wake up one day and be like, oh, what a surprise. I became a very valuable, successful man. No, you have to know it, believe it, own it, see it long before anybody else does. And the people who have already arrived, they'll see that in you. And next thing you know, they'll be lending a hand to pull you up so you can get there faster. All right. Bosses only truly respect other bosses, and they can spot it in you if you have the potential to be one. And that's also how you can also get you a mentor too. Remember, I keep telling you guys, find you a mentor. All right, next, let's get to number 7. The only security you have is in the things you own. All right, remember that, guys. If it ain't yours, it ain't yours. It's that simple. And that goes for women too, bro. If you aren't 100% responsible and paying for everything and all like that, she's not yours, bro. She's not yours. And with that being said, make sure that you're calling the shots, you're dictating, you're giving direction, you're telling her what it is, because, you know, it's yours. You pay for everything. I'm not telling you pay for things and you're not in control. That's the problem that a lot of these guys are making nowadays. They're supporting broads, they're paying for things, they're taking care of women, and the women don't even respect them because it's like, yo, you let me do anything I want. You don't tell me what to do. You don't control me. I don't have to respect you. I don't have to do what you've delegated to me in order to get these resources. And you can't decide that later on, guys. You can't switch it up on a girl and be like, from now on, you do what I say. It doesn't work that way. You do that going in. That's the conversation you have going in. If you have to write up a contract, write it up. Okay, it doesn't have to be something that's backed by a judge, but you have to at least tell her, listen, this is what I expect. This is what it is. This is what I want. So you see it, it's on paper. So go ahead and agree to it so that later on you can never say that you didn't know. And if I see you slipping off the path, I'm going to remind you. Please refer to paragraph 3, line 7. You got to do it like that, guys. All right, stop doing shit like with feelings and on verbal agreements like how women do, because it's going to come back to bite you in the ass when she feels different and doesn't remember agreeing to that. So write it down. All right, next thing, 8. Accumulate success and wealth to secure internal desire and stability for self, not for external materialism and validation from others. So this is, again, something that I had to learn, you know, the hard way, right? So when you're out here accomplishing things, you're acquiring things, make sure that you are very well in touch with the why you do what you do and what is the type of gratification, right, and satisfaction that it's supposed to bring you. Don't be out here busting your ass making money just to buy things to say, I bought this or I bought that or I own this or I have this or I have that or whatever. Everything needs to be personal and, if anything, spiritual, which is the level you should be operating on. That's the vibration that you should be having in the first place. All this other stuff is just physical. So it can be physical, but there has to be a why to that physical, and that why needs to go to mental, and that mental should have came from spiritual in the first place. So try to be in tune with what it is that you really want, what really is meaningful to you guys. If not, you're going to be a guy that makes a lot of money, that's very important, that a lot of people rely on, that's miserable because you don't even know why you do what you do, and now that you're doing it, you're not happy, all right? And you're trapped. What will happen is your success will become your prison and you'll be trapped. All right, so where are we at? We're at number 9. Invest in relationships with the same with the same mentality as successful businessmen invest in businesses. So when you're out here making friends, okay, and you're out here having relationships with women and you're having relationships with your family, bro. You got to get all that sentimental shit in the secondary position. That's the passenger seat, all right? All those feelings and, oh, this person's cool and what, bro, that's backseat stuff, all right? Make sure that the relationships that you invest your time and your effort and your energy into are as important and as valuable as what you would be investing in a business. In other words, it should be an investment that pays back. It pays back dividends in some way or another. All right? This is important, guys. Okay? Time is your greatest resource and asset. So don't be investing it into people, places, and things that aren't going to pay back more than what you put in. Just be smart, all right? And don't let people guilt you with all that feelings nonsense, bro. I'm not saying to ignore that. I'm saying make sure that that's secondary. It has to be secondary. If you like guys and they're cool and they're your friends and you like hanging out with them, whatever, that's fine. But just make sure that's secondary, bro. Secondary, all right? Same thing with women, bro. Make sure that all that lovey-dovey stuff, all that feeling stuff is secondary. Make sure there's something tangible that you benefit by interacting with this person and investing large amounts of time and effort into this person, all right? Number 10, and we out of here. All right. So the last one I have here is invest in the youth. The children of today will be the adults of tomorrow. If you helped, to guide them in their growth, they will forever be indebted to you after their success. All right. So that's also very important. Something that I learned from my grandfather as well as my cousin. Buy people cheap. Okay. Buy them cheap. Now, my grandfather died with a lot of love and a lot of support and a lot of grown-ass people around him that were secure. Why? Because he was there for those people when they were children, helping them, guiding them, building them up, being there for them, and constantly giving them handouts. There was a time when what my grandfather used to do is he used to give small loans to newlyweds coming from Jamaica. And a lot of those newlyweds went on to be very successful, okay? So in turn, they were always there for my grandfather because he gave them their start, all right? So if you're a coach, a teacher, whatever, invest in the youth, okay? And help to nurture and encourage and embrace the talented, right? Keep them on the right path, help them dodge, potholes and liabilities and danger and all that other kind of stuff so they don't get jammed up, and diminish their potential, okay? It's very, very, very good investment because, like I just said, they might be kids now. You put 20 years on that, a 10-year-old is a 30-year-old, all right? So you're going to want a bunch of grown-ass people that are functioning at their highest level on your side. And the best way to do that is invest in the youth when you have an opportunity to. All right? And those people are going to be incentivized by something a hell of a lot more important than money. So if you help little kids that end up becoming lawyers, doctors, whatever, bro, they're going to lend you all their skill set. And they're not going to be thinking about no money or nothing like that. They're going to be like, I love this person. I love this man because who knows what I would have been without them. You were a positive influence in them, in their youth. All right, guys. So I'm out of here. Thank you again, C. Bailey, for the donation. And I hope you guys also benefited from the information that he requested. If you were listening, you're going to benefit from at least, however many things on that list of 10. If I was you, I would put all 10 of them to use. And anything else that you guys want to know, just ask me, email me. I'm out of here, guys. Peace.